This week on Road to 1 ATP Point, I competed in the UK Pro League. Simply put, this is a series of 7 events that run throughout the year where the top pro players can earn up to £3,000 prize money for winning, which is more than if you win a $25,000 futures tournament and the same as if you make the final of a challenger. 12 players play in each event and there are 4 groups of 3 that battle it out for a place in the quarterfinals. Today I'm going to show you my match in the group against Billy Harris, the seed number 1, who at the time when we played was 392 ATP ranked, so by far the best ranked opponent I've ever played. So let's see how I match up against him. Today of course started off with the classic hotel breakfast, getting lots of fruit and carbs in. Then I started off with 15 minutes on the bike and had a light warm-up about an hour before my match. Made sure to do lots of serves and returns because that was super important on the indoor courts. I then went for a light jog to clear my mind and to give you my thoughts on the match.
Right, so I'm about to play the best player I've ever played. The best player I've played so far was around 750 or 650. So it's going to be a really good test to see where my level's at. I obviously lost closely to Giles, who was about 700 and I think it was 75. So now it's another level up. So I'm going to go in there with an open mind. Again, not put too much pressure on myself, not much expectation. You know, I'm going to be aggressive. If I miss, I miss. I mean, if I lose 6-love, 6-love, I lose 6-love, 6-love. I mean, that's the mindset I'm going in with. His UTR is about 13.9 or something crazy. But again, not expecting too much of myself, and hopefully I can go in there with an open mind and just play my best tennis. It's about 20 minutes before the match, so I'm just going to do a little match warm-up, a few dynamic exercises, some stuff with the band, and then we're going to get going.
I basically did some dynamic exercises, just jumping around, getting a bit of the nerves out of the system, but also trying to warm up some plyometric movements and some movements that I'm going to be doing in the match. This was mainly for my kind of mental preparation more than physical, but also just to get me ready for the high intensity points. And we're going to jump straight in to the match highlights of me against Billy Harris, which was in the group. Of course, the top 2 from each group go through to the quarterfinals, so every win is crucial in trying to get through to that stage where of course the prize money is also greater. I knew straight away that his serve was going to be a massive problem on these indoor courts. There were fresh balls and they were absolutely flying through the air. One of the main things I found straight away was the quality and the way that he was hitting the ball made it super difficult for me to be aggressive, and a lot of my balls were going long simply because I was, hitting at a normal speed and they were pinging off my racket. He of course took every opportunity to come in and be aggressive. I felt that put me under quite a lot of pressure early on, even in my service games, so I was almost forced to overcompensate. And this is one of the first times I've kind of felt that in a long time, that I've been forced to kind of feel uncomfortable in the match, even in the rally situation, to the point where I wasn't really able to play my game almost.
Quickly, over 70% of you haven't subscribed that watched our last video. I know I keep banging on about it, but it takes 5 seconds and it's the best way that you can help support the channel to make future Road to 1 ATP Point videos. So if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button.
And it took me a few games to get my first service game of the match and to really get a rhythm in this one. So he's serving for the set here at 5-1. It's been a pretty dominant performance so far, and almost at this point I'm thinking about the next set. What can I do and how can I change my performance to try and win the next one? So I'm serving first in this set. Again, New balls come at 11 games, so we've got 4 games left before new balls. I just wanted to try and make it to that point and then try and get as many games as possible on serve, maybe even squeeze out a break early on in the second, because that's the only chance I've got when the balls are becoming a little bit flatter. This is when I was able to play a bit more of my tennis, as you can see there, feeling a bit more comfortable to come into the net and try and hit winners. This was my biggest chance. So the one break point comes and goes, which was super frustrating, and I knew that they weren't going to come very thick and fast, so that was a real big missed opportunity, and here I'm just hoping that I can try and stay on serve and take him to a tie break. I do overpress on the forehand, and he does get the break, and now I'm just trying to think, how can I find a way through his serve, and how can I try and at least squeeze back a break? I know it's going to be difficult, but I also have to focus on holding my service games, and that was my main concern, of course, trying to get as many games on the board as possible. I knew that my first and second serve percentages were super important, and also the win percentage was going to be super important. And I, of course, thought that serve was actually out, as there was an umpire on the call, which was slightly strange for me because I don't usually play with umpires. So they made a few of the calls, but nonetheless there weren't that many bad calls during the match, which I'm happy about. And here again, looking to get on the front foot. That's what I should have done a little bit more in this match so far. Let's see if I can turn it around. And so I did end up losing this match, but I still have a chance in the group.
Now, I think I actually learned a lot from that loss. I feel that it was a great learning experience for me to play someone who put me under so much pressure in the match. I'm definitely going to take that experience into future matches that I'm going to play. Next week, I'm going to show you my other group match and also how I got on in the rest of the tournament. I played 4 further matches, so there's so much more tennis to come. You don't want to miss it, so make sure that you subscribe and turn bell notifications on to be notified when that video comes out. And also, if you haven't already, smash a like on the video for the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you guys next week.